Hello, everyone. Welcome to another DCU Daily. Apologies yesterday for not showing up for you guys, but because of that, we have more stuff for you guys today. So get pumped for that. In addition to Fancast Friday, we are going to be doing Wonder Woman for that. So get pumped for that. But in the meantime, we are going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, we are going to be talking about box office because it is Friday, so we got to do some box office projections. Who is poised to win this weekend? Probably the most obvious choice, but we also have some projections for later on in the month with even bigger releases. Then, of course, Millie Bobby Brown putting rumors to rest about her Stranger Things co-stars, in addition to some movie talk madness. I have two reviews for you guys today. Two movies that dropped today, so want to talk about those in addition to two trailers for a re-release and a new release for this year and the next. And then, of course, we have our quick hits, not just regular quick hits, but DC quick hits, all the parrots, pelicans, and ducks of the DC universe. Then we're going to be talking about a little bit more about Peacemaker Season 2, and Alan Ritchson just won't quit it, but it might seem more promising this time around, and as long as it's not Batman, it should be okay. And then we have a couple questions and comments from you guys, so all that and more will be ready after this wonderful news intro. So buckle your seatbelts. We're in for a wild, wild ride. Not really, but we're in for a fun time at least. It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
You look ridiculous. Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I, of course, am your host, John. Nice to see all of you, all you regulars and all you new people giving us a tune-in for today. Of course, we have to welcome tons of people to the chat. We got Caleb, we got Acres of Movies, we got Tony, we got Monique, all the usual suspects for a nice early, well, in terms of early when you guys come in, not an early show because it's a very late show. We've been very busy, so... Also, Enterprising. Welcome, Enterprising, to the show. You did do some early stuff, so hello. Yes, and iCal Rich. Hello, iCal Rich. Nice to see you. Yes, lovely, lovely to see you. But, of course, we have a nice big show for you guys today, with the first being, of course, talking about Predator Badlands, because... that's all what we want to talk about in terms of the box office, that is. Well, if you guys want to talk about box office, but here we are for yesterday. Got to take my pill before I forget. So here we have Predator Badlands making almost $5 million in previews, which is pretty good for a pretty good big blockbuster like this. First Predator movie since... Predators, I believe, that has been on the big screen. So that's pretty awesome. But we will be getting into that, at least my review, later on. But Predator Badlands making $4.8 million yesterday in previews. And of course, it should be pretty good for a PG-13 movie. It should get more of an audience. And it's on track to make a $25 million to $30 million in its opening weekend, which should be okay considering that the budget was, in fact, how much? Was $105 million. that's obviously pretty good for a smaller franchise. I mean, Predator was never like the biggest franchise of all time. I mean, again, it hasn't been seen on the big screen for a decade and a half, but hopefully it's more of a slower rollout. But I mean, there's not really much competition this weekend, and it does have a couple weeks in before it's going to get decimated later on. But obviously, we're going to get into that sooner rather than later. But Predator Badlands targets second best Friday for franchise with 14 million on path to $33 million opening. And so this has the projections a little bit higher. The other one said 25 to 30. This one says 33. But that's what it is poised to get. And it is the best Friday since Alien versus Predator, although for a lone Predator movie, but the difference is a lot of people are saying, oh, this is going to be like Tron Ares. But the difference is this is actually getting good reviews. So may not be like Tron in time. It might actually, be warranted for, good review. But they're slow walking their way to a true crossover with Alien. Maybe. I keep forgetting that movie exists. Not gonna lie. I mean, can you really blame me? I keep forgetting that exists. And plus it was like right before COVID, so I thought like, oh, it got none of that. I mean, I greatly apologize. So it's been almost a decade since that was last seen on the big screen. Yeah, need to build up each franchise first. They got to do all the nostalgia bait things. But honestly, Predator Badlands is in a better Predator is in a better place than Alien. I was talking about this the other day, how Predator is usually in a more experimental facet than Alien, because Alien, in terms of like the unanimous praise, is usually just the first two. Meanwhile, every other movie or show or whatever is always divided. Like Alien 3, it has its fans now, including myself, but still a lot of people hate that one. Everyone hates Resurrection. The most you can give it is that it's fun slop. And then the first Alien versus Predator, a lot of people liked, but it was inhibited by its rating. However, the next one was completely hated upon. And then you had Prometheus, which a lot of people didn't like. Then you had Alien Covenant, which even more people didn't like. And then you had Alien Romulus, which was a pretty mid crowd pleaser. And then Alien Earth, which was also heavily divided. So, it's just Alien is, it's like, wow, the guy who ruined two other franchises ruins another one. That's crazy. Hello, Steven. Nice to see you. I think, and as I was saying, the Predator franchise is always like trying new things. Whether it does it well or not depends on the person. Because I know some diehard Predator fans that refuse to see like all the new stuff because it's like woke Disney crap. So like, that's beside the point. But, yeah, I mean, you had the first Predator. It was in the jungle, a lot of masculine men, becoming emasculated by something better than them. And then you had, let's take it into an urban environment. And then they did Predator and the Alien vs. Predator movies. Boom, nice crossover. And then they had the Predators. It's like, okay, let's take humans to their planet. Okay, boom, there we go, perfect. Or to like a different planet, like to an alien planet. It's like, oh, boom, perfect. And then the Predator, I don't know what the fuck the Predator tried to do. And then Prey, you send it back a couple centuries or 1 or 2 centuries, and it's about a Native American girl in the past and all that. And then you had Killer of Killers, which is like different timepieces all across, different points in time. And then you have this, which is the main character is a Predator. So it feels like Predator has always been trying to be bigger and better and more experimental with its stuff, and always tries to do something new, while the Alien franchise is kind of stuck in one of two things. Either it's one alien or multiple aliens. Seems like that's like kind of the only things you can do. But in terms of later on, well, Badlands is going to have some competition because Zootopia 2, which is coming out in a couple weeks, in addition to Wicked for Good, it's going to be a huge 125 million plus opening, which is around the same point as Wicked for Good, which I think is about 115 to 120, maybe even better, depending on some outlets. But the other next film in a franchise is on track to, killing that weekend. So whatever goodwill that Badlands has at the box office, which seems to be not as much as it would think, it seems like this will definitely, kill it. But especially with Thanksgiving, which not a ton of people celebrate, so people might not be heading to the theater for that one. But it's very exciting for Zootopia 2. I think the trailers look good. They don't look great. You know, it's definitely going to be Zootopia versus Wicked. So I'm going to be seeing both. I prefer Zootopia. For me, I thought the first Zootopia was excellent. However, this one, I feel like it might still be kind of doing a little bit of the same, but it's with like snakes, lizards, uh what's the word for it? Like amphibians and reptiles. That's the word I was thinking of. Um, you know, um, I think we're definitely in for a big, you know, battle royale between the two, but 125 million plus opening at the Thanksgiving box office, which definitely looks like it'll be a good time. Even if it sucks, I'm sure kids will enjoy it. So that is it for the box office news. Of course, we still have a little bit more. We have a couple things people were saying. There was a lot of rumors going around in terms of, well, Stranger Things. The allegedly there was like some on-set behavior from David Harbour that Millie Bobby Brown was not a fan of, to put it very lightly. But it seems like Millie Bobby Brown is putting those rumors to rest because she had this to say in regards to her co-star, is that it's been amazing. We're so lucky to have each other. The show means so much to the both of us and to everyone here. This has been the last 10 years of our lives. So it seems like that they, in fact, are okay. It's it definitely, it's nice to see because she's essentially saying, hey, like, just like saying it without saying it, essentially, where it's like, where they're just like, hey, you know what? Whatever you were reading, it's bullshit. We know it's now. It's entirely possible there is the small possibility that they're actors and they're just doing this to save face and PR and to get through with it. That's entirely a possibility, but I don't want to necessarily believe that. So, yes, Hunter Reggie, we're going to be getting into that later. So just keep your pants on, and we're going to be talking about that when we hit DCU Daily. So, yeah, it's people just believe anything. Yeah. But considering it came from like Daily Mail and shit like that, that should be rule number one because Daily Mail is notoriously horseshit. So I mean, yeah, that's how they fucking get money. That's how they get clicks, clickbait, all that rage bait, all that fun stuff. So, um I just think I think this is just nice to see how how they're in a good place and we don't have to worry about any more bullshit rumors, I guess. But speaking of Stranger Things, apparently Netflix has released the first 5 minutes of Stranger Things season 5, revealing what happened to Will Byers in the Upside Down. Obviously, I won't play the footage here because we don't want to get demonetized, but it seems like um that we are gonna, get a little bit of backstory in regards to that. I'm curious with how the DH Will looks. I don't want to watch it. I want to wait until we get there when the official season, like the first part, comes out. So, also hello, Movie Spud. Love to see you. And then We weren't going to be getting into that because that's like a lot darker stuff. We try not to get into that on the show, but that seems to be the case. I don't know who Neil Jordan is, so feel free to let me know who that is. But yeah, this looks I'm sure this is going to be interesting. Liz might show up next week. She's been very busy with work, so we don't know. We don't know if when we're going to be getting her. Maybe soon. Hopefully, maybe soon. But awesome to see. Awesome to see. We love to see some good Stranger Things news. I hope it's good. I want it to be good. I didn't really like the last 2 seasons. And I'm just watching this because it's the final season, so I'm just kind of curious about it now. Cute, real cute. But of course, we still have we still have some news stuff to talk about. Well, let's say news adjacent, because we are going to be getting into movie talk madness for y'all today. So, hang on. There it is. So, movie talk madness. Now, I did promise Caleb that we are going to be getting into Predator Badlands. And that's the first movie I'm going to be talking about. Is in fact Predator Badlands. Predator Badlands is including crossovers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9th movie in the Predator franchise, including crossovers. Without including crossovers, it's the 7th. But we got an earlier Predator straight to Hulu Predator film earlier this year, which it was more along the lines of what people wanted to see in terms of like doing different times, which teased a lot of things for the franchise. Well, this is definitely the problem with that. I've only seen 4 Predator movies. I've seen the first one, I've seen this one, I've seen Prey, and I've seen Killer of Killers. I have not seen Predator 2, either of the Alien versus Predators, or definitely not watching The Predator. So, yes, it's technically an Alien crossover, but like the Xenomorph is not featured, so it's not technically. It's just they both take place in the same universe, so they're just going to use that company that was established in Alien. So anyway, the main thing is Predator Badlands. It stars Elle Fanning and Demetrius Schuster Kalowamatangi. I am probably butchering his name. I greatly apologize. Elle Fanning is Thea, a damaged Weyland-Yutani synth, and she teams up with Deck, a young predator who is the runt of his clan, who's trying to prove himself, and with his first hunt, he wants to kill what is deemed an unkillable beast. So after a confrontation with his father, he is sent to Jenna and is trying to find the Kalisk, what is deemed an unkillable creature. And I thought this was a very good movie. I thought it was great. If I were to rank it among the franchise, this is probably on the same level as the first Predator. I like the first Predator. I think it's a great movie, but it's not like as amazing as everyone says it is. Honestly, pretty much this entire franchise I've seen since Predator is better. Like, I thought Prey was better. I thought Killer of Killers was better, and I thought this was better. So it's like I'm kind of teetering on what I like better, but it's for the most part this, because it's like unique. It feels different. I mean, that's what a lot of people are saying nowadays. I can't judge it. I have not seen it, but it does have Bill Paxton and Danny Glover, so pretty sure that's where the winner is. So, but Predator Badlands, I thought the guy, I'm just gonna say Demetrius, the guy who plays Deck, did a really good job. I know it's kind of hard to like say that because he's wearing like a motion capture suit or prosthetics or whatever the hell. I'm pretty sure it's mostly CGI, but he is still wearing like a motion capture suit, and I thought he did an excellent job. It's hard to like showcase the emotions because you have different teams doing different things to showcase those. Like you have animators, you have effects artists, you have editors, you have a lot of different people to like realize the dream of this character, and I think Demetrius is just one of those attributes. Not saying like it's not a team effort for everything, but it's like it's different from like, you know, Elle Fanning, who's essentially, despite not having legs for the majority of the film, is mostly her. So, you know, I thought Deck was a great protagonist, even though you don't understand him. They have subtitles. Even though you can't understand him for the entire runtime, you feel a lot of his like emotions. You feel for him. You sympathize with him because they essentially made a predator, a Yucha, relatable. I don't think it's wrong to say. I think it's some people like it, some people don't. So it depends on who you ask. But I thought, you know, he did a great job. Elle Fanning was good. I thought she's playing a dual role. She plays the more villainous synth Tessa, who comes into the film a little bit later on, but I thought she did a better job as Tessa, who's this character right here. I thought she did a better. She like you could tell that she was like being like very, you know, villainous, very like stoic, cold, and it like really worked. I think she sold that really well. Meanwhile, her character of Thea was, here's the thing, it was good, but she was kind of annoying at points. I thought it was like it definitely felt like Marvelism, where it's like a filibuster character who just doesn't shut the fuck up and just kind of keeps talking when you don't want them to keep talking. For the most part, she's an endearing character, but I feel like a lot of times she is a bit annoying, and I think they could have dialed back her character a bit. And because of that, there is some tonal inconsistencies. Like there are some points where I'm like, am I supposed to laugh? Is this supposed to be funny? And then there are others where it's like, oh no, this is like very grim, very serious, dark action drama film. So, you know, I think that because of that, it's a bit awkward. And I think this could have been a person in a server I'm in mentioned this, and I agree with it, where she was like, there should have been another 15 minutes in the middle of the movie. I agree. I felt that a lot of like development, a lot of stuff that could have been very good, a little bit more meat on the bones between Deck and Thea, that could have been fleshed out a lot better if you just gave it like a couple more minutes, not even like 15 minutes, maybe even like 10 minutes, but it just feels like that it kind of is going through the movie a little bit too quickly, a little bit too briskly. And I swear that was not a joke to what I'm drinking, but you know, I mean, it was totally intentional. But I feel like it was a little bit awkward at points, and I do like how very early on in the movie, Deck is like pretty much stripped away of like all the things, his weapons. They get taken by one of the aliens of this planet. And I thought that was really, he pretty much only has like a sword, and like that's kind of it. Eventually everything gets taken from him, so I thought that was definitely really good. And also my head is starting to hurt, so I'm going to take off my glasses. But I think the story was really interesting. I love like the idea of like trying to do everything for your family, and it just doesn't work. It's definitely the thing that a lot of people love, that James Gunn loves to do. He loves the found family and the outcast. So it definitely kind of feels like that in that respect. but whether you like that or not depends on the person. But I'm not saying it feels like a James Gunn movie. I'm just saying its themes have been done before recently, so it's just interesting how that happens. I thought the CGI and the effects were really good, whether they were practical or not. They look really good. It's mostly CGI, and I think it looks great. There are a couple noticeable CGI shots, but for the most part, it's very good. So, you know, exactly. You know, I think, is there anything else? I thought the climax was really good. It's showcasing everything he's learned and doing that's different from what the Yucha usually do. And I felt like it was a good, like, building on certain points there. I just feel like it could have been better in certain circumstances where, as I said, the development could have been better. It could have been paced a lot better. And I feel like there are things that it could have been better. In terms of the 3 films that Dan Trachtenberg directed, which, you know, Stephen Ortega asked, is it good like Prey? I think it's good, but not better or as good as Prey. I thought, in terms of the 3 he's directed, I think Prey is my favorite, then Killer of Killers, and then this. Initially, I was like, I think I like Killer of Killers less than this, but when I was really thinking, like, Killer of Killers was overall it left me wanting more, but in a good way. This left me wanting more in a bad way, because it feels like there was stuff on the cutting room floor that they got rid of in order to get to like an under 2 hour, under 1 hour, 50-minute running time, when it could have benefited from that. But for the most part, I thought this was a great movie. Don't listen to the haters, if there are any. I mean, it does have a pretty good Rotten Tomatoes score. I mean, it seems like critics like it. It seems like the people like it. But I know, like, I've seen a couple Predator fans are like, oh, it's not real Predator because ever since, you know, Disney bought Fox, it's not real Predator, blah, 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 all that shit. So, you know, hey, you know, you can ride the high seas with a bottle of rum and enterprising, so it's okay. But I thought it was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. It could have benefited to some, like, tighter writing, tighter pacing, tighter editing. But for the most part, I thought it was very well done, and I thought it was great. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it an 8, 8.5 out of 10, maybe an 8.5. I just was impressed. I really liked it. I wish my early screening didn't fuck up, but hey, at least I got to see Back to the Future again, right? So, yeah, I thought Predator Badlands was a pretty great time. So I would definitely recommend this. If you can get to the theater, awesome. If you can't, try to catch it on streaming. It's not like, I did see it in Dolby, which was fucking awesome, but it's not like, oh my god, it's not like F1 where you're like, you gotta see it, and like try to see it in the theater type thing. Just if you can, cool. If you can't, then you can catch it on streaming. It's cool. But that's not it for Movie Talk Madness. Now we have the next, not an entry in a franchise, but just yet another readaptation, and that is Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, specifically. Unfortunately, I missed the theatrical window to catch this, and after watching the film, I am absolutely fucking kicking myself for not seeing this in theaters, because guys, whatever mixed things you heard about this movie, whatever things that like it's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. Frankenstein, I think this might be my new favorite movie of the year. I had high expectations. I love Guillermo del Toro's work. I think he's pretty much put out nothing but bangers. I have not seen a bad movie from him yet. And his last film for Netflix, Pinocchio, which was another, I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but it was surely a very, very, very great film. This, however, was absolutely just I try not to use the term masterpiece a lot because I feel like a lot of people throw that around a little bit too much. But genuinely, this was a masterpiece. I would say it's probably one of Del Toro's best films, and it's definitely a film that, I mean, if it's still in theaters for you, try to go see it in theater. But like, everyone needs to watch this movie. It's absolutely brilliant in every facet of the word. Who knew Jacob Elordi can fucking act? I didn't know. I don't think Caleb knew, but it turns out Jacob Elordi is a good actor. Crazy. Maybe only Guillermo del Toro can make him seem good, kind of like how David Fincher is the only person that makes Tyler Perry seem talented. Maybe it's that. But he did. He fucking did. And no, I have not seen Crimson Peak. It's on my list. I need to watch it. Exactly. 100%. Yes, who knew? A guy who was in a movie where fucking graves and drinking semen water were present. He managed to do a good job here. Yeah, like even like stuff like, I don't know what's like, Pacific Rim is probably considered one of his lesser movies. So like, you know, not saying that Pacific Rim is bad. I've never seen it, so I don't know. But like, I know that it's not considered one of his best movies. So, but this, like, I thought Oscar Isaac was amazing as, if I can find a good, yes, there we go. So Oscar Isaac was amazing. He definitely plays the role a little bit more on the nose that what Frankenstein should be. And keep in mind, this movie dives into the more melodramatic roots of the book, and it follows the core of the book. Now, it's not exactly the most like it's not like a one-for-one adaptation. It's clear that like Guillermo del Toro understood the source material, but essentially did his own thing with it while doing notable scenes that we all know. But Oscar Isaac, yeah, Del Toro tier list. I'll keep that in mind as well. But Oscar Isaac was brilliant. He plays the character less like a hero in earlier adaptations. Not saying Frankenstein from 1931 is bad. It's just that was the choice at the time. But he's definitely putting on this exaggerated, like, rotten bastard kind of feel with the character, because you know, you just fucking hate this guy. Like, you can see, like, he's not like necessarily a bad person, but he's just like the ego of him, the narcissism with this character is very present, and how he treats the creature, like, in the beginning is just so, like, this is definitely the most, like, heartbreaking adaptation I've seen of Frankenstein. And I think this is, I thought he did a phenomenal job. Mia Goth doesn't really have a huge role in the movie. She's just kind of there to try to humble Victor as a character. Like, you're not as great as you think you are. You if you focus on better qualities of yourself, you can be good, but you're not. You know, I think she was good for what the role was, but I can understand people not liking her character very much because she doesn't do a lot. Christoph Waltz, it's Christoph motherfucking Waltz. He can always deliver a great performance, and not a villain here. So if you're looking for a more villainous Christoph Waltz, you're not getting it here. The brother, he doesn't really have much of a role. He does a good job, but not really much of a role. Not a bad role, but not a present role. But Jacob Elordi as the monster, like, you can see, like, him learning the machinations of his mind. You can see him, like, try to figure things out. in as like a child would, and he does that very, very well. The visuals are, I'm going to try and find a good picture of the visuals here. The visuals are amazing. Like, just like looking at this, the visuals and the cinematography, the practical sets, all just absolutely like just brilliant in every facet of the word. And I think what this manages to achieve is what Mary Shelley really tried to do with the story is as Enterprise, it's a sins of the father story. It's very more on the nose. You could tell Del Toro was going for a more melodramatic story, and that melodrama isn't automatically bad, because what Del Toro does here very well is it's classic melodrama. It's exaggerated and theatrical, but not cheesy or corny in a bad way. Like, this is an easy comparison, but it's like this is the movie that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from Kenneth Branagh should have been. It's pretty much does all the same things that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein did, but does them better. It's less pretentious, it's less egotistical, it's less up its own ass, it's less it's in fact none of those things. It adapts the story, but it's Del Toro doing his own thing. Well, that film was just not good, and just so not good. But yeah, Caleb asked what's Del Toro's best movie. Tony already answered it for me. It's probably Pan's Labyrinth. I haven't seen every single one of his movies, but Pan's Labyrinth is usually categorized as his best. Although my personal favorite is probably Shape of Water, but honestly, it might be this now. This might be not only my favorite Del Toro movie now, but it might be my favorite adaptation of Frankenstein, because of how it nails the father-son story. And Del Toro said that. He said it's not a horror film in a traditional sense. It is a father-son story, and how it does that very well. It definitely feels like the book, because you have the prelude, and then you have the story from Victor's point of view, and then you have the story from the creature's point of view. So it's a lot of different narratives, and how it does that, it's very much in tune with the book. Now, I haven't read the book in years. I read it back in high school. It was like over a decade ago, so I don't really remember a lot of it. But I do remember some things. The look of the monster here is definitely more in tune with the book. Although I think in the book he's yellowed. It kind of looks like he has jaundice. But the long hair and the grotesquely beautiful face is very much in tune with the descriptions Mary Shelley did. And I think it. What the visuals, the makeup, this has got to be nominated for something. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, it does nothing new." It's like, I don't think the core of it is that it is focused on a father-son story. It hasn't really been done that much. Maybe a little bit subtler in other adaptations, but this makes it at the forefront. And I think it's not trying to reinvent the wheel. What I think it's doing is essentially taking the core of the book, as I mentioned before, the core of the book, and doing it in Del Toro's style and ideas and concepts and themes. And with doing that, he essentially takes the book and makes it more succinct, which is what I think you should do for a good book adaptation. If it's a proper book, not like a novella or a short story, it's essentially taking the book, cutting out most of the fat, and just creating a nice, succinct, simpler movie out of a very very depth-filled book. Now, I'm not saying this movie doesn't have depth. It has a lot of depth, but it's more succinct than what a book would do. So, exactly. And I think it's, I think De Niro did a great job in that movie, but the movie was terrible. I just think that, I will say, in terms of Del Toro movies, I think the only bad one is Nightmare Alley, because I couldn't even finish it. I thought it was so boring. Like, I tried. I really wanted to watch it, but, I just couldn't even finish it. I think I got, halfway through, and I have no desire to finish it. But pretty much the only possible negative thing I have about this is the slowness. It is a bit slow. It is 2.5 hours long, so it is a bit of a commitment for everyday audiences. But this was just absolutely fantastic. Maybe a bit of a rushed ending too, but I think it works. Again, this more succinct narrative. With that, I thought that Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, is nothing short of a beautiful, enriching, and brilliant experience that everybody needs to watch. If you have not already, please go and watch the film, or hell, even rewatch it. I might rewatch it now, but go watch the film. It is absolutely fucking amazing. If you have Netflix, please watch this movie. It's brilliant. It's truly a brilliant movie. It does have high scores here. I know some people said it was messy, but it's not. I don't think it's messy. I think the different narratives work, the different perspectives work, and I think that's tying into the book, but also like showcasing the different emotions that all these characters are going through. And I think Del Toro just nails it. Like, I know a friend of mine has said, like, oh, he hasn't made a good movie since Pacific Rim, but I don't agree with that. I think he's done a lot of great work since then. I give it 5 cows. Okay. But for me, if I were to give it a rating, I would probably give it a 10 out of 10. Like, genuinely, I can't think of anything truly wrong with this. I have like maybe some nitpicks, but like nitpicks that don't matter in the long run because of how fucking amazing this movie is. So please go watch it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was one of the best of the year. It's probably my favorite movie of the year now, and Ash had that spot for the longest time. And Superman, Warfare, F1, Long Walk, all amazing movies. It just couldn't beat that movie. I think Frankenstein has finally managed to beat Ash. And Ash was a fucking amazing movie, by the way. I think I did a review on the channel when it came out a couple months back. But how many movies do I see in here? Well, it depends on what you're asking. Or if you talk about new releases, I have seen 51 so far this year, but in terms of total, I've probably seen like maybe 80 to 100. I don't know. I would have to check my Letterboxd, but I have seen 125 this year, but that includes rewatches and movies at home and that kind of thing. So, that's what I'm talking about there. But I thought, Life of Chuck, amazing. The Monkey, I really enjoyed it. It's not like masterpiece levels, but I fucking loved The Monkey so much. I thought it was great. It's definitely getting a lot of technical awards. Do you have a Mount Rushmore of Coppola? I know Godfather 1 and 2 are there. I haven't seen like a lot of his movies. I've seen like those two, and I've seen a couple others. Apocalypse Now is probably his other one. I don't know what the fourth would be, but feel free to leave it in the comments. I could definitely see this getting nominated. But now we move on to the other aspects of movie talk madness, and that is, of course, talking about not a god like Frankenstein, and not, a monster playing God, and certainly not a monster like whatever. It's Michael. I was trying to do like a King of Pop thing. He's a king. We're doing a king thing. King of Pop, Michael. I tried, didn't work. Bram Stoker's Dracula is great, surprisingly great. Again, that's the one that did melodrama right, but the trailer for Michael dropped. We're not sure if this is getting 2 parts. They said it was getting 2 parts, and they said it wasn't, then they said it was getting it. So, but I think I watched the trailer for this when it first came out a couple days ago. I think it looks great. Like, I'm genuinely excited for this. Like, I don't really like a ton of biopics because they're all kind of cut and dry, kind of lame. I will say the one thing that's a little bit disconcerting is the producer for Bohemian Rhapsody is doing this one. And I don't necessarily like that because I didn't really like Bohemian Rhapsody all that much. But I know Anton Fuqua is a fucking phenomenal director. I think Jafar Jackson looks, sounds, and acts like Michael perfectly. And I hope so. I definitely hope so. Um, it seems like the case. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of movies that are a huge success that suck. Like, and Bohemian Rhapsody was. I felt the problem I had with that movie was it was very sanitized. It was like it felt like a Disney-fied version of Freddie Mercury's life, and it didn't really work. Although, like a lot of movies, I think should show the good, the bad, the ugly of like a person's life, and they did that for Rocket Man, but they didn't really do that for um they didn't do that for Freddie, so that was the thing I didn't really like about it. Plus, it feels like that they were just kind of playing loosey goosey with his actual life. So, but I thought this trailer was pretty damn good. I'm excited for it. We haven't gotten a lot, but it was just kind of a general vibe. But it's just kind of like starting from the Jackson 5 to I think it ends at the 90s, but I could be wrong on that. But it seems like we're going to be in for a good treat for this one. And we also got a really good poster for this. We got we got his life, him as a kid, him as a young teen, then him at his height, and then beyond. But I thought the trailer was great. I thought it doesn't really show you a ton, but I thought it was damn good. Need that Phil Collins biopic. Interesting. Honestly, it could. It definitely could. Yeah, I mean, he's literally the king. He's literally the king of pop. Like, there has never been anybody else like Michael Jackson. And nobody ever, everyone's like, oh, Beyonce fucking did this. Taylor Swift. No. It's like saying, like, in terms of MJs, nobody's going to beat them, whether that's Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan. Nobody, you could do this stat, this thing. Oh, they did this, that. No, you weren't there. Tony was there. Tony could probably tell us, but nobody was there. All the people saying this that were not there when they were fucking at their peak, and it was different. Like, they did all those records without the internet, so like there's also that. Exactly, Plo, exactly. He broke the internet before there even was one. Perfect way to describe it. He will forever be the king of pop. He will forever be one of the greatest kings of music. So, I think this we're in for a good one. Yep, it's his nephew Jafar Jackson. Yeah, looks like him, sounds like him, and we're in for a real good time. RDJ for a Billy Joel biopic. I think he's too old now, but he kind of looks like him. I always thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt could be a good Billy Joel. I think I actually have an idea for this. It would be really cool with how fucking fucked up that was, especially with stuff with Syd Barrett and the drugs they were doing at the time. Honestly, make it a horror movie. I think that would have a horror biopic. That would be awesome, and Pink Floyd would be perfect for that. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember when the Beatles played at Shea Stadium. It was partly because the sound system was bad, but partly because people were loud. But legitimately, they could not hear the music because people were screaming that loudly. Yeah, you just can't get away with that now. I'm sorry. But anyway, Michael still the undisputed king, no matter what people say about him, no matter what people claim he did. Michael is the king, and none of it's true, and he will forever be the king of pop. Thank you. I think I mean, considering like he kind of made his face look like another bald gentleman like in Looper with Bruce Willis. So I mean the hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. You want me to come on, bruh? Let's get something perfectly clear. I have it's unopened because I kind of almost don't want to open. I have no, this is the white album. Where's my wall album? There it is. There it is. Boom. I have it on I have it. So don't you worry. I have the wall on vinyl because I love it so much. And I did play this a couple times. I did, but like, hey, white album, also great, but vinyl of Pink Floyd The Wall. I love Pink Floyd The Wall. I think Pink Floyd The Wall is the greatest rock album of all time, the greatest rock opera of all time, and I don't care what anybody says. Anyway, I think Wish You Were Here is also a great album. I think Dark Side of the Moon is a little bit overrated. It's still a good album. It's still a good album, but The Wall and Wish You Were Here were much better. Yeah, I have. You guys can't see it, although I think I dropped something. You know, I have not. I have not. I've heard it's pretty. I've heard it's pretty good. I think that was Whitney Houston, right? Or was it not Whitney Houston? With Tina Turner. I forget who that was, but yes, Night at the Opera is another great one. But you know, The Wall is my favorite, and I think it's the best. But Michael will be getting his biopic to be coming out next year, April 24th. And Jafar Jackson is good. I am sure he is gonna make his uncle very proud. And I think he'll do a great job. And I think if Michael were alive today, he would be very proud of him. Hey, okay. Now with that, the Jacksons biopic. Okay, I get what you're saying. No, I don't think I've heard of that. Angela Bassett has been robbed for a lot of fucking awards. I'm fucking looking at you, Jamie Lee Curtis. I love you, but fuck you. Bullshit. Anyway, let's not get into that. But we have one more trailer to talk about, and that is movies for stuff that has already come out. And I think that is Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 are going to be re-released in theaters for the first time together, dubbed Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. We did talk about this a while ago when it was announced, but now we have a trailer, which I don't know why we need a trailer because we know it's it's a movie. It's already, but hey, like they have trailers for re-releases all the time. But it is apparently going to be for The Whole Bloody Affair. It's apparently a 4-hour cut with a 15-minute intermission. So a lot of people were asking, oh, is it just going to be 1 and 2? No, it's going to be one long movie, which I think is what Quentin Tarantino always envisioned. But, people don't really like to go see 4-hour movies. So it's going to be, I'm sure there's going to be even more foot shots. So it's going to be one long movie, essentially. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. And it's going to have an intermission. So if anybody was excited about this, then boom, there you go. I have not seen Kill Bill 1 and 2, so this is probably a good way to actually watch the whole thing. So I think for my first experience of the films, I think I'm going to finally watch it as one. So I think we're in for a very, very very fun time with this. But if you guys are interested, it is going to be I don't know when, but it is. I think it's in December. I think it was, December is when it's coming out. But yeah, I think this is awesome. I think this is fucking awesome. Can't wait for it. And definitely very cool. But yeah, but he was. And by the way, the date is December 5th, by the way. December 5th is when that's being re-released. So I will say I like Tarantino. I'm not gonna fucking kiss the ground he walks on like the women he, has foot shots in his movies of. But I think he's a very good director. I think he's a talented director. It's just I do not bend at the altar of Quentin Tarantino, I will say. I respect the guy. Well, I don't really respect him. He's kind of an asshole, but I respect his films. I think he makes very good movies. Like I love Django Unchained. I love Hateful Eight. I love Reservoir Dogs. Those are probably my top 3. But people need to fucking calm the fuck down about Pulp Fiction and all of that. So, yeah, Inglourious Bastards is another great one. But yeah, I don't bend at the knee for Tarantino, and I think his fans have kind of ruined him, and his fans kind of ruined it for me in terms of his movies. So, yeah, but even then, I'll still try to give this a watch, and I'm sure it'll be a mighty fun time. But in regards to movie talk madness, that is it. And with this, we're going to be going to something a little bit quicker. That is the quick hits. So, music, we're going to get into. So, and the quick hits are actually going to be quick this time. First quick hit. Tom Cruise apparently went to go see his buddy Glenn Powell's The Running Man. So he called Glenn Powell's The Running Man. Well, it's more Edgar Wright's The Running Man, but that's beside the. Edgar Wright's Stephen King's The Running Man. Boom, there we go. So Tom Cruise said, another great out with my friends at the movies. You guys crushed it. Congratulations. I laughed, was on the edge of my seat, and ate way too much popcorn. That's awesome to see, but to be fair, Tom Cruise also said that The Flash was the greatest superhero movie ever made. So who knows if he is actually talking about this correctly. But even then, I think this looks like a lot of fun. I'm hyped. It looks great. It's been getting great reviews. And look at that face. Look at that face. It's the same in every shot. But nice to see it, and nice to see Tom Cruise going outside and touching grass. Next up, speaking of Tom Cruise, we go to a director he's worked with before, and that is, in fact, we're going to pause that. Joseph Kosinski. He was talking about the rumors that Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler are circling his reboot, and he said, if it ends up being those two, I'd be very lucky. Well, you're not the only one, because I think all of us would be very lucky if we get that film, whatever you plan to do. I'm sure it'll be great either way, but if you get Jordan and Butler, it's going to be even fucking more awesome. Anyway, next up, that was going to bother me. Next up is probably one of the biggest news in terms of the video game world, GTA 6. Its launch delayed once again until November of 2026. Now, why has this been the case? Well, it seems like certain attributes in regards to firing of people who Rockstar claimed were, there was misconduct happening, but the employees later said, no, we were trying to unionize and they fired us. So there has been protests outside of Rockstar and I think one other company. So, so I think, and the thing is, they fired a bunch of like high-ranking people that have been working at Rockstar for years. So, I think this is, that's probably the biggest cause. I think it's also the cause of them trying to, like, how do we sell a $120 game? Well, let's just wait until the market says it's okay, and then we'll finally do it. So I think they're kind of pushing for that. So, but yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't think this is definitely not happening anytime soon. And I don't think it's going to happen on November 19th, 2026 either. So, there's that. But yeah, it seems like Rockstar are once again assholes because, not based like Valve. Valve is based. Rockstar can kick rocks. Anyway, speaking of asshole video game companies, Nintendo's live-action Legend of Zelda movie is now shooting in New Zealand. So get pumped. I believe it's going to be coming out of April. Until April of next year, and then it's going to be coming out in, I believe, 2027. So, but yeah, anybody excited about that? I mean, it's Rockstar. Don't put it past them. But GTA, we're gonna get GTA 7 before GTA 6. But yeah, New Zealand is always getting epic fantasy movies. But yeah, very exciting. Love to see it. Can't wait to see it. Speaking of, actually, no, I'm not waiting. I don't give a fuck. Speaking of the opposite of things I want to see, Avatar: Fire and Ash. Apparently, it sets global premiere tour dates, and these are them. So it's going to be in China, December 8th. It's Italy, December 9th. Japan, the 10th. UK, the 11th. New Zealand, speaking of New Zealand again, the 13th. Australia, in the 15th, and then in the land of Tony is Canada, although I know you're not in Toronto, but December 17th is when that's coming out. So yeah, anybody's excited about that, then cool, but I can't imagine anybody really being that excited about Avatar: Fire and Ash. But hey, the last two made $2 billion, so clearly somebody's excited. Next up, apparently Chris Evans will play this character in Avengers Doomsday. So according to Daniel Rickman, it's reporting that Evans will indeed portray Nomad in Avengers Doomsday. We've already heard that he'll get a new suit and wield Mjolnir, likely the one he took back in time with him, and it makes more sense for Steve to take on this destiny than being Captain America again. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Nomad, he kind of played Nomad in Infinity War, because, you know, Captain America, I think, was like owned by the government. So like, and Nomad is the character that came after Captain America. I think Steve Rogers was laying low after like a big event happened, and so he was going by the name Nomad. So, you know, yeah, cool, great. If this is true, but it is from Daniel Rickman, also known as Daniel RPK. We'll see if this holds any water, but I could see that happening. But next up is Gremlins 3 joins Warner Brothers 2027 slate with Steven Spielberg executively producing and now Chris Columbus directing. Now, two of the previous movies were directed by Joe Dante. Chris Columbus, I think, wrote the first one. I don't think he wrote the second one. But apparently it was very different. Yes, Charles S. Haas wrote the sequel, but Chris Columbus wrote the original script, but it very much changed from his original vision to what Joe Dante did. Joe Dante did more of a horror vibe to it, while Chris Columbus's, I think, was more campy and cheesy. So you know, I hope it's good. I trust Chris Columbus. But the thing is, Gremlins 3 has been promised for fucking literal decades now. So I don't know if this is actually going to happen or not, but we'll see. Yeah. But next up, I gotta double check something, and there we go. Good thing I double checked that. But apparently, NBC Universal Comcast is preparing a bid to acquire Warner Brothers. NBC Universal has hired Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley to assess a potential offer. The acquisition would be limited to the studio and streaming businesses, aka after the split, and Warner Brothers financial information has been made available for them, so that means they signed that NDA. So, very exciting, I guess. Hopefully they get it and not Paramount, but we'll see. Speaking of Universal, Christopher Nolan's next film with Universal, The Odyssey, is going to own all IMAX screens for a month, because as we all know, Nolan fucking owns IMAX now. So it pretty much makes sense. He has a very good working relationship with IMAX. Pretty much all of his movies get the IMAX treatment. His always get first precedent. So yeah, makes sense to me. Can't wait to see it. Hopefully I'll be able to see it in IMAX. If I don't, then that's okay, because I'll settle for Dolby. I don't mind seeing it in Dolby, but I know it'll be great either way. But anyway, next up is apparently the Harry Potter series will not have a narrator. I guess there's a lot of myths and rumors that that it's going to have a narrator, but apparently, no, that's not the case. Harry Potter will not have a narrator. So if you were thinking that, well, it's not happening. I have not heard of this rumor until now, so there goes that. But hey, cool. And then finally, next up, speaking of the Running Man, Arnie has given his seal of approval, and he said it was creative, and I think it was great. But Arnold has given his thumbs up and absolutely loves it and says it's great. So there is that. So he's reacted to it, and he said, shook their hands, and he said it was a good film. So a lot of people were like, oh, we don't think this is going to be as good as the Arnold movie. Well, Arnold gave a seal of approval, so kick rocks. So yeah, good stuff. But the next thing we have is a little ditty from Dan. Thoughts on James Gunn's Fantastic Four legacy. I mean, this is meant to be a joke, but honestly, it just proves to me that David Cornsweet would have been a better Mr. Fantastic and Pedro Pascal. Yeah, I said it. Don't get me wrong. I love Pedro Pascal. We stand Pedro Pascal in this house. We love Pedro Pascal. However, I still think he was miscast in Mr. Fantastic, and I think it looks like David Cornsweet would have done a better job. But I'm just saying. Well, to be fair, he also executively produced it, so better than Pedro. Absolutely better than Pedro. Arnold for Predator 10 Back to the Jungle. Yeah, he's gonna de-age himself like what Sly wanted to do. But yes, very much an alternate history movie. But yeah, I guess in this world, what was his name? Who's the guy who directed Fantastic Four? I don't even fucking remember. Yeah, he directed Superman. So in this world, Fantastic Four would have actually been good, and then Superman would have been overrated. So good times. But yeah, that's it for quick hits. We're done. Now we get into the thank you for watching news portion. Thank you for watching the news portion of the show. We're going to be getting into DCU Daily, and then finally we're going to be getting into Fancast Friday after this. So we're going to be doing a concrete fan casting of Wonder Woman. We've done a couple of them in the past, but they were not really official. We can't really find them. So we're like, okay, let's get all the ones we've done so far and just kind of put them here. And that's what I did. So thanks for watching this portion of the show. We'll see you for DCU Daily, which means we are indeed #blessed.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
Hello, welcome to DCU Daily, folks. Let's get that ticker in there. Let's introduce myself into the show. Hello, John. Lovely to see you. Here we are, DCU Daily. We are going to be getting into so much stuff today. Not so much stuff. A lot of quick hits. But we have two bigger stories, but nothing too big. And then we're going to be getting into your questions. Well, mainly your comments, but also Matt Shackman. Thank you, Tony. You thought it was Peyton Reed. Peyton Reed pitched it way back in the early 2000s, and they denied his version, and they went with Tim Story's version, which was fine, but it wasn't great. But here we're here to talk about DCU Daily, and we have to do DC quick hits, the Parrots, Ducks, Pelicans of DC News. And the first thing is something really fucking stupid, but we have to talk about it. Apparently, James Gunn has followed somebody on Instagram, so now everyone's like, oh, that means this person's going to be this character. And since Aaron Taylor Johnson has been fan cast as Batman, people are like, oh, that means he's gonna fucking, be the next Batman or be the next this character. And it's just like, no, I think James Gunn just likes the actor. I think that's it, because he has said multiple times, just because I follow them doesn't mean they are going to be in my movie. So, it's by that logic, Aaron Paul is going to be Aquaman. Like, fuck out of here. I think it's just like he likes the actor, he likes his shit. It's just like, if he is, I wouldn't mind him being Batman. I think he's a little young. I would prefer older if that's what they're going to go with. But honestly, I can see it. I can better Bruce Wayne than Batman. But, Aaron Taylor Johnson confirmed as Batman. It's a joke. Yeah, we didn't see that coming, apparently. You didn't see that coming? Anyway. But yeah, stupid, ridiculous. I don't believe it for a second. It's just James Gunn likes following people. Also, why does his face look kind of looks like Lee Pace here a little bit? I love that. I fucking love that. Bro, and Captain Squeaks putting it on blast. Bro, I swear James Gunn can't do literally anything without scrutiny. Breaking news, paparazzi has spotted James Gunn eating blueberries. Does that mean the new Batman suit will be blue? Honestly, Pharisees. Reaching. Reacher. Alan Ritchson is gonna be Batman. See, that's how fucking stupid you guys sound. That's how stupid that all these fucking people sound. Like, I'm justice, I am vengeance, I am kick-ass. Honestly, based. Anyway, but these are the quick hits, so we got to get through them quickly. Apparently, the Boys actress Colby Minifie said she wants to join James Gunn's new DCU as Poison Ivy. Yeah, and I want to be fucking 200 pounds lighter. Doesn't mean we get what we want, sweetheart. Like, you do a good job on The Boys. You do fine with that role. You're not Poison Ivy. I'm sorry. Like, Poison Ivy has to have like a certain level of sexuality, sensuality, and confidence. And literally no role I have seen from this actress has ever voiced that ever. So, yeah. No. Bullshit. And no. I'm not saying she's bullshit. She's a very good actress. But no. Poison Ivy fan cast. We'll see. Next up, we have another Poison Ivy fan casting, and that is Madeline Petch. Apparently she wants to play Poison Ivy in Matt Reeves' Batman films. We're working on it. I dressed up as Poison Ivy many Halloweens ago just to get their attention. Like, hey, Matt Reeves, are we paying attention? My camera's in the way. That's why I got to move. They haven't made the movie yet, so who knows? I can't see Poison Ivy in the Matt Reeves verse. It just, I don't think it fits. But would she do a good job? Probably not. Nothing I have seen from her warrants good acting abilities. But I mean, she would be a better fit than the other chick. I'll give you that. So, again, it's not great, but it's like a slight step above the other chick. So, Also, Emo Nerd Girl, how are you doing today? I hope you have a lovely evening. I've been behind John. Really enjoyed movie talk. Madness. Frankenstein was awesome. Decided to skip to live. That's okay. You could always be kind, rewind later on, and leave a comment down below. So that's neither here nor there. But of course, we have more things to get into. However, what I have to do right now is because I'm still on my personal Facebook, Dan. I still need the login info for the Oh So Curious one. So please give me that soon enough. But I need to mute my chats because now my friends are texting the group chat, and I really don't want that to be shown live. So we're just going to mute that real quick and mute that for 8 hours. Let's say that. And then we're going to mute this one because, I'm just so gosh darn popular, guys. So we're just going to, mute that and we're going to move on. So, that's it. Anyway, so here we are. We're going on to the next thing, and the next thing is Supergirl related. Supergirl will have an interactive booth at CCXP. Now, if you don't know what CCXP is, it is a comic convention that has been held in Brazil, Germany, and Mexico, short for Comic-Con Experience. But I believe this is where a lot of people were saying this is where the Superman trailer was going to be released last year, but that turned out to not be the case. I don't remember. But apparently, but in Sao Paulo next month, they will be getting a Supergirl booth. So, what the hell is happening with chat? Crying because you're not here, Caleb. Why don't you give us a honka for the chat, please? That's CCCP, Dan. If you're gonna make a joke, at least make it correct. Like, come on. Well, we don't know if we're gonna get a teaser. It's just a booth. It's just gonna be an interactive booth. Like, people are just gonna be. I'm sure there. Maybe Millie Alcock is gonna be there, but it's just gonna be a booth. Possible a teaser is gonna be shown. Unlikely, but it's just gonna be a booth. Ah, yes. Thank you, Caleb. But yeah, next up is Man of Tomorrow related. Apparently, it's rumored to feature some surprising characters. Who are those characters going to be? They are going to be characters from PEACEMAKER. So this is according to a scooper, My Time to Shine. So take this with a gigantic grain of salt. But apparently, Man of Tomorrow, PEACEMAKER characters are going to show up outside of characters like Lex, PEACEMAKER, and Rick Flag Sr. Although here it's spelled Rick Flag Sir, but way to go on the editing, guys. Caleb? No? Okay. I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, who knows? Because it might be about salvation, it might not be. Who the fuck knows? But that's Sir President. No, it's not. Fuck Rick Flag. He's a jackass now. I'm not gonna call him Sir. I ain't gonna call him President. I ain't gonna call him Mister. I ain't gonna be calling him on time for fucking dinner neither. Because he can suck my ass. I love Frank Grillo, but fuck Rick Flag Sr. He's an asshole now. But yeah, some characters might show up who are in PEACEMAKER in this. Maybe. Who knows? If this is true or not, could be. I could see it happening, but who the fuck knows? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The next thing we have is apparently Swaybox Studios, who is in charge for the animation of Dynamic Duo, are holding online auditions on November 15th for the film. So, yeah, that's quite interesting. They revealed a teaser. So it's reaching out to the people of the world and being like, hey guys, why don't you, if you want to appear in a DC Studios film, then boom, there you go. Saturday, November 15th. So hell yeah. Here they are releasing footage for the film. So this definitely looks really fucking interesting, doing a lot of test footage, showcasing, other films that they've done. And then, yeah. So this is awesome. This is great. But if you want to appear in a movie, then boom, there you go. Awesome. No experience necessary either. Boom. But people of the world, listen up, fresh off the bench to get your news here. Anyway, but yeah, very cool, very awesome. And if you want to appear in the movie, then November 15th is your date. Write it down. But next up, apparently they have revealed another poster for Lego Batman, the upcoming Lego Batman game, Tales of the Dark Knight, I believe it's called. Is that going to cost $5? No, I don't think so. I actually don't know. I haven't read the rules, so we'll see. But yeah, Dwayne and did you say Dwayne? No, he said Daniel and John. I was like, huh? But yeah, I'm super excited for the Lego Batman game. Fuck yeah, let's go. Super. It shows, you got Commissioner Gordon and you got some Joker henchmen and you got the Batman. And from the Batman, so this is all from the Batman specifically. So hell yeah, I'm with yay. I'm with Enterprising, who's saying yay. But then next up, apparently, Luke E. Hull is doing some location scouting in Glasgow. So I tried to do a Scottish accent there. It didn't work. But he showed off some pictures on Facebook here. And yeah, looking really cool. Very, all these interesting places in Scotland, and very awesome. But this is the only one. He also posted something on Instagram. He posted this, more of a generic highway, but still very cool. I said Glasgow. I tried to give it an accent. It didn't work. I said Glasgow. God damn, bro. There were 3 shots. Yes. I'm posting there. Are you not live? Come on, man. Billy Bob Thornton for next Commissioner Gordon. I could see it. I think he might be a little bit too old now, but must be the center. Yeah, that's how these people sound. But yeah, really cool. Next up, Caleb, just say it again so we can get it over with, and just probably the cringiest fucking shit in a movie. Dan is dantastic. Yes, he is. He's very dantastic. But yeah, goddamn. Dang it. No, dang it, Batman. But yeah. Now this is my Joker, and he has a fucking Jared Leto profile picture. This dude's a bot. This guy is a motherfucking bot. Goddamn, nobody likes Jared Leto's Joker except for Caleb, but he does it ironically. So, God, this just looks fucking cringy as fucking shit. Goddamn. Anyway, speaking of garbage, lanterns. Apparently, a release window officially revealed. WBD boss calls the Batman to terrific. So, in a letter to the shareholders, a release window for lanterns was officially revealed. Like Peacemaker, it appears we can expect the show to bypass HBO for an HBO Max debut. That means the Penguin and Watchmen remain the only DC TV series to get the HBO treatment. Here's an excerpt from the letter specifically relating to where things stand with DC Studios. Importantly, with its first theatrical release, Superman, DC Studios marked a new era and critical first step on its 10-year journey to deliver fans a fresh and cohesive storyline across film and television while bringing new heroes and villains to the surface. Building on Superman's foundation, upcoming DC Studios projects, including Lanterns, which will debut on HBO Max in early 2026. Supergirl and Clayface, which are scheduled for theatrical release in summer and fall of 2026, respectively, and Man of Tomorrow, the follow-up to Superman, which James Gunn is currently writing and will again direct. We remain incredibly excited about the momentum at DC Studios and its prospects to reconnect with fans and ignite the next generation of these beloved characters. On the aforementioned phone call, Zaslav confirmed that the script for Man of Tomorrow has been written by James Gunn and called Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2 terrific. So we'll see where this goes, and this goes against the reported Lanterns release window that it was going to be released after Supergirl in the summer. So it appears we're going back, because it said it was going to be released early, then it said it was being released in the summer, and then now it's going to be going back to be released in early 2026, which doesn't make sense to me. But maybe that's the timeline they have right now. Obviously, we will have to wait and see. But yeah, interesting little tidbit. I don't know how that's going to work since it's a show and they still have more stuff to do on it, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's not like the show is going to be good anyway. Not like they need extra time to make it good. So just shit it out initially. I'll be waiting for Supergirl and Clayface. Not like I'm excited for Supergirl that much either, but Anyway, that is it for the quick hits of the DC universe. But obviously we have our big story. Obviously, Peacemaker was mentioned, so we're going to be talking about that. And yes, DCU news, major news, streaming ratings. Peacemaker makes chart debut with season 2 finale. So Monster, the Ed Gein story, grows by 50% in its second week to stay at number 1 overall. And with this, the DC series starring John Cena as the title character squeezed onto the original series rankings for October 6th to 12th in 10th place. Peacemaker had 398 million minutes of viewing for the week. The season finale, which debuted October 8th, accounted for 42% of the total, about 167 million minutes. The series is the first DC show on HBO Max to make the streaming top 10. So that's good to see. It finally squeezed onto the top 10. Good for them. Really awesome to see. Hello, Target. I mean, they still managed to get in the top 10. They still got in the top 10. So I think that's pretty fucking good to me. Anyway, okay, like fucking be positive, Dan. Jesus fucking Christ. You gotta fucking ruin it for everybody. Anyway, but so it kind of goes on a little bit more here. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Peacemaker got a spot on the Nielsen streaming charts. However, the show is said to have barely reached the top 10 of the original series category for the period of the 6th to the 12th. So, in terms of was Peacemaker season 2 a success? It's difficult to give a firm answer given how the viewership numbers only cover 1 week. However, there is enough context around the data provided to answer the question with an educated guess. For starters, Peacemaker's numbers were significantly lower than other projects on the chart for the same week of 6th to the 12th. Number 1 spot was Ed Gein's story in its second week, which had a 51% increase, probably from all the bad reviews and people seeing how bad it was. So that's probably why. But yeah, I think, it's just like, but like, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. If we're looking at the top 10, look at the fucking like shit that's on here. You got Monster, Love is Blind, Halo. Is it cake? Come on. People aren't exactly watching the best, most esteemed things ever. And yeah, Peacemaker is going to appear lower on that. Who fucking gives a shit how many it watched? It was still a good fucking show and a good season. And frankly, if it has numbers like this, I'd rather have it low numbers like this than high numbers of like shit like the fucking god awful Halo show. Get the fuck out of here. Just because it didn't have a ton of people watching doesn't make it bad. Jesus Christ. Anyway, how's the Snyder Cut doing on HBO, Dan? Boom. There you go. I blame John's bulge. I appreciate the fact that you think that. I think it's a win for Peacemaker. Boom. Halo, yeah. Enterprise like Halo? Really? Yeah, exactly. Did you like Pluribus hasn't come out yet, but I am excited for it. But yeah. So the streaming data shows that it's squeezed on there, but you know what? It's fine. I think Peacemaker, I think season 2 was good. I thought it was a perfectly fine show. I think season 1 was meh, but season 2 was better. But yeah, but that's it for Peacemaker side of things. Now we get to the big head honcho. And we're definitely talking big because he's a big boy. And that is Alan Ritchson. Well, apparently it was revealed some months ago that Alan Ritchson talked with James Gunn about being Batman. James Gunn was like, fuck no. And he's like, all right, bet. So then he went back. He's like, hey, what if I play a different character? And James Gunn is like, I'll consider it. And that's where we are right now. But yeah, Alan Ritchson has confirmed conversations with DC Studios for messier role. But I have a ladybug on me, ladies and gents. Look at that. He likes me. I haven't you don't kill a ladybug. It's bad luck. So I'm just gonna have this ladybug live on me for the rest of my life. Anyway, let's see if it goes on my finger. Nope, you don't like my finger, buddy? No? Okay. So he's just gonna be on my shirt. Anyway, Alan Ritchson has confirmed this, and he said this. Yeah, yes, that's the conversation that I've been having with them. Is like, I want to play somebody a little messier. And I told them, I said, if I'm going to do this, I described to them the kind of personality that I'd want to play and what that would mean to their world. And I think it's something everybody wants to see right now over there. So, yes, I want to play somebody a little dirtier than your typical clean cut protagonist. Where are you, buddy? Oh, anyway. But the fact that he confirmed this is quite frankly unexpected, as it's not often that an actor who is the focus of so many fan casts is given the opportunity to meet with the studio about a role. I mean, he did. He confirmed it a while ago, let alone that actor themselves openly talking about that matter. The prospect of someone as talented and as versatile. All right, bro, fucking calm down. Joining the DCU is an incredibly exciting prospect. So he did already confirm that, you know, he said he has confirmed that he's not playing Batman, but right, from a Bugsley. Yeah. But yeah, I think you know, uh I'm just gonna there he is. There he goes. See, he's already he's on my post-it notes. There we go. And you're gonna get off me. It's official. Alan Ritchson is playing Wonder Woman. Honestly, I'll take it over Batman. But exactly. Boom. There we go. Suck dick, Stan. Anywho, shoot, human, don't bother me. So, yeah. So this is the kind of big news for the day. Again, we've had a very slow week in terms of DCU news outside of like fan casts and shit like that. But honestly, Alan Ritchson, I think he'd be good for Wildcat because like he's big, he's dirtier and messier, and it doesn't take a lot of acting ability that Alan Ritchson clearly does not have, so it could work. Um, but yeah, I think that's kind of it. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh wait, no, Q&A session. Q&A. Before I forget, let's get into the Q&A of all of this. And let's go to that. And the first thing we have is from the last Zarian. Again, we say Q&A session, but it's mostly showcasing your comments because nobody really asks questions in the comments down below. But they were talking about this in regards to, I think there was some troll stuff going on in the chat. The last Zarian was like, Film Junkie regularly has two Snyder Bros on his streams from the Sci-Fi Center channel, two guys that say some weird and messed up things. Do you really want to have someone on your show that downplays Kevin Spacey, Ezra, and Armie Hammer? Armie Hammer? So I don't feel bad for Davey, the Film Junkie. So yeah, I don't know what this was about specifically, but yeah, I don't feel bad for any of any wrongdoing if this guy lets like these incessant trolls appear on his channel. But I agree. But the Watcher has something to say to Dan because he disagreed on a major thing in regards to Wonder Woman, and I think it fit because we are doing a Fancast Friday next. So he said in regards to this, I disagree with Dan about the Wonder Woman costume being too racy. Bro, that's what people want. People love sexy female characters. The problem with current day Hollywood is that they're too prudish. Hollywood used to be very pro buff dude and hot chick. They need to get back to that. This outfit drawn up for Grace is absolutely peak. This was when we were doing Grace Caroline Curry's concept art that somebody drew for her in the role. And also we know the onesies will be her outfit because we saw it in Creature Commandos. Her beauty, her grace, her essentially being a sex icon is part of her power. It's part of her character. And what man wouldn't be submissive to a beautiful woman, which was said by William Moulton Marston, who was the co-creator of Wonder Woman. Comic accuracy is king. Yeah, I mean, considering that there's a lot, I think he said, I don't agree with the wording of it all, but I think you know, I think it's definitely I just think, I mean, it's not that racy comparatively. I mean, Gal Gadot was showing off. It just like she had a little bit more with a skirt. But I don't know. I think people need to calm down a bit. I agree with Watcher. It wasn't really all that racy. I mean, a skirt versus underwear. I mean, it's not very much different. If Linda Carter can show that on TV in the 70s, then I think we have no problem it being in a big budget Hollywood movie. Yeah, exactly. It's what Olympic gymnasts wear. It's like the thing that here's the thing in regards to Wonder Woman as a character. The thing is, she is just herself. She is a person, a woman, whatever. The fact you think that a bathing suit is racy means you're sexualizing her, which is already not good because bathing suits are normal. They are part of everyday life. It's all in the eye of the beholder in terms of how we view that. Like James Bond coming out of the ocean with a Speedo in Casino Royale, that's not innately sexual, but people, mainly women, have made that sexual. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Depends on who you ask. But I think, well, I'm not talking about the budget. I'm talking about how it looks. They could have given her a fucking like knee skirt, and that would have been like, oh, we got to cover up. We got to do all this stuff. And yeah, but like, if it's playing to international audiences, the only stuff you're going to have to worry about is like mainly where there's like people are not like okay with like showing off the body, which is like a very specific niche kind of viewpoint. Because most people internationally are like okay with it. It's just like I feel like America and a couple other places are kind of heebie-jeebie when it comes to bodies. So I just think yeah, exactly. It's just I think people need to calm down a bit. I mean, it's just part of the character. I mean, it's maybe we could get a skirt. I don't know, but like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, James Gunn has said this many times. If you're so hung up on like what she's going to look like in terms of her outfit, then I think you're looking at the wrong thing. But I think, I mean, I would prefer it because it's different than what we got with Gal Gadot, which was more of like a gladiator skirt in her movie, like more of that armor. So I think I just want something different, just to separate it further from Gal Gadot. I just think whatever she wears, it's gonna, as Dan said, it's gonna fit into the story fine. And I just think that it shouldn't be something that people are so hung up on. Because I think there are certain things with Superman and Batman, like having the tights on the outside, having, the bats, as long as she has her symbol and it's generally the way she looks and it doesn't look like a gimp outfit like the Adrian Palicki version, then I think it should be fine. So, that's neither here nor there, but I, for the most part, agree with the Watcher. I think his vocabulary and grammar could have been a little bit better in terms of how he expressed that, but whatever, it's fine. The next thing we have is from Caleb. Can we all agree the Scream franchise needs to end? Wes Craven has given us greater horror franchises than Scream. I mean, only one other one, and it is better. It's Nightmare on Elm Street, and yeah, but Scream was the one he was continually a part of until his death. So, I agree. I think, I mean, Scream is a pretty overrated franchise to begin with. It's not one of the best. And I mean, it's fine. Like, it's perfectly okay. I think I respect it more than I like it. And I agree that Wes Craven should have died. The franchise should have died with Wes Craven. I agree with that. I don't think we should have gotten another movie after Scream 4. I think Scream 5, Scream 6, and especially Scream 7 looks like they're just big mistakes. Scream 5, the franchise went from an insider's deconstruction and satirization of Hollywood tropes, and then the new movies just became either generic movies that Scream was making fun of, or like shitting on the fans, and they're the reason why terrible movies exist. And I just feel like that was a very wrong way of doing it. And also killing off a character named Wes it rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like that either. So there's that as well. I think Hills Have Eyes. I guess that counts as a franchise. I don't really view it as a franchise. It's more of a duology to me in terms of the movies he created. But yeah, I mean, there's technically 4 movies in that franchise, but whatever. Exactly. They've become the very thing they swore to destroy, and I'm pretty sure Wes Craven, wherever he is probably crying right now. But that's just nature of the Hollywood beast. Next up, last one is Last Zarian again. I hope Lobo sucks all the air out of the room and everyone forgets about Zack Snyder. I agree. Anyway, not because I hate the man or anything. It's just his fans have become too intolerable for words. So there's that as well. But now we get into the thank you for watching portion. But ride's not over yet, my man. We're going to be getting into Fancast Friday. Hopefully it's a little bit quicker than this show. But thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. And we have loved and appreciated your comments. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Zach needs to stop pasting. But yeah, we're going to be talking about, speaking of Wonder Woman, we are going to be talking about Wonder Woman. We're going to be talking about 5 picks that I have, and then 3 honorable mentions, like always. And remember, we're #blessed at the beginning, but also #blessed at the end. So see you later for Fancast Friday.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you really I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Hunka hunka.
And always remember, fuck Jeff Snyder.